Hello, StarCraft fans. We are in the finals of ASL Season 17. It's finally here. We've got a ZVZ. We've got Hero facing off versus Soulkey. Soulkey looking for the repeat. Of course, Hero looking for his first title. And once again, joining me is the one and only. It's Gypsy93.
Yeah, you see that light show, man?
I saw it, man.
It's just about falling asleep right now. I haven't gone to sleep yet. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, Nyoken, that I'm still awake. All right.
Yeah.
Through 4 a.m., we out here casting ASL, and then I tune in to this broadcast, and I just see we're now clubbing, man. We're just out there partying all night. The celebration of the year ASL Season 17 Final Soulkey versus Hero. Damn.
Yeah, I think this is what a lot of Zerg fans were looking for. Soulkey going for the repeat. I don't know necessarily if they wanted to see a ZVZ finals, but you've got two Zergs facing off in the finals. This is going to be pretty epic, I think. I'm hoping we get at least one Hive-Tech ZVZ. I think out of 4 to 5 games, if we can get 5 games, I think there's a good shot at getting that. Like you're saying, I also thought about staying up all night, but
Yeah.
instead I tried to go to sleep while the sun was still up. And
Holy crap,
I,
you're crazy.
I didn't sleep very long, but I slept a little bit, and here I am. I'm ready for some ZVZ action. We're getting a look at the rundown of what is this? Oh, of season 17. I thought it might have been ZVZ history. So we saw
No.
Hero.
It's what they've done, man.
Yeah, we actually saw Hero
It's the
lose.
resume.
Yeah, in the wild card, the only ZVZ I saw, Hero lost to Action 2-0. What does this say? It says this would be Hero's first time winning if he's the champion. Zerg has been a second place finisher 5 times. I'm not sure exactly what that next one is. Then at the bottom, we've got, once again, mentioning Soulkey. If he wins here, it's going to be his second time being the champion. And if he wins, there has been 4 players to do it twice. Off the top of my head, there's Hero, not Hero, Zero, Queen,
Yeah.
Zero, Mini,
Very
and
close.
Flash. Yeah, very close. And I guess we're looking at
Is it going to be a hero or is it going to be a zero?
Well, he's hoping he's going to be a hero, and Soulkey's hoping that he's going to be a zero.
Yeah.
And speaking of zero, there he is on the right side. Ended up beating Soma 4-3 in season 10. And
Yeah, you don't want to be zero because then you don't even qualify for ASL.
Exactly. I was going to mention that. And
Yeah.
this stat is something that I always bring up. The person that wins the first match 100% of the time has won ASL. So first map, very critical. And I think I remember Hero having the first pick.
Yeah, well, it is a ZVZ, so absolutely anything can happen. 17 seasons, that's crazy. 17 seasons, 17 finals. Well, 16 finals. Oh, no, because I think they count. I'm not sure. There was like a tournament right before the ASL. I don't know if they count that one.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do, right? So
Yeah.
17 finals, 100. That's kind of crazy, Nyoken.
Yeah, that is crazy. And by the way, that red-blue graphic that you saw at the bottom was pros predictions of who's going to win. It looks like it was slightly in favor of Hero, like something like 7-5. Fans in the meanwhile think it's going to be extremely close, 51% for Hero. This is one of the moments where I wish Zero had qualified. Because Zero has historically said in interviews that he does not like Soulkey's ZVZ. I would have been laughing pretty hard to see him with like a 4-0 Hero prediction. But we don't get his input this time.
Well, he would have been in the finals.
Of course. He would have eliminated Soulkey.
Yeah, I mean, today's going to be exciting. I don't think we've had such a high stakes ZVZ match in a long time. So, of course, ZVZ is always cutthroat, always down to the wire. Oh, and Afrika actually rebranded. Damn, now it's the SSL, dude.
Yeah, the Soup Star League. We're getting a look at some of the highlights from the season, so let's check them out. All right, it looks like player intros are done. We're going into the interview with Caster Park, of course, which means we're going to be cutting. No, I guess we'll leave Caster Park up here because reactions are pretty good. But that was quite some intro there. It's the purple era, Gypsy. You know, during that highlight section, I was thinking, like, wasn't there only a few Zergs coming into the round of 8? And the answer was actually there was only 3 in the round of 16. Yet here in the finals, there's 2 out of the 3 remaining. We had eight Terrans in the round of 16. Terran usually does so well in the ASL that you were thinking 100%. One of the 8 should have made it to the finals, but they all got blasted. Only Sharp remained in the round of 4. So maybe they're right. Maybe this is the Zerg era.
Yeah, well, it's not the Protoss era, that's for sure. So unfortunately, Protoss players still gonna be weeping, waiting for their savior to come and rescue them from the dark ages. We thought it was gonna be Snow this season, but he fell short. I mean, Soulkey, an immaculate player, especially in ZVP. I mean, he would have had such a hard time. Snow would have against Hero in this final as well. A lot of people, I think, were a bit worried about the finals being a ZVZ final, but actually, I mean, look at that studio. It's packed. I know a lot of people are, I'm sure there's a lot of eyes watching today. Everyone's super excited. And I really think ZVZ, I mean, it's going to be fun. And especially in such a long format, we might see some crazy games today, man. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, whenever we do get ZVZ games, I do hope at least one of them gives me Hive Tech. Just give me one. I'm content with just getting one. But I am happy to know that, I guess since Remastered, ZVZ not necessarily has undergone a renaissance, but, in the olden days, I remember games literally just being 5 minutes. Somebody had a slight build order advantage, and the game just ends with Lings or it ends with Mutas. But in ZVZ these days, yes, there's still Lings and Mutas, of course, because there's never going to be anything else. But at least you see, like, Spores, and at least you see somebody being able to defend and, get to 10 minutes and then give you hope that we could have a late game. At least we see games like that. So I do hope that they are, something like that. I do not want to see, like, 5-minute games where they just end on build orders. That would be unfortunate. I feel like in recent ZVZs that we saw, didn't we see a lot of people just going 12 hatch and, like, outright being dead to 9 pool? I can't remember exactly, but I feel like I've seen a lot of those recently.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Nyoken, because I don't watch ZVZ.
Indeed.
No idea. I have no idea what to expect, honestly, from today's game. So we're patiently waiting here. The players are going to talk some smack to each other and get that promo going, Honestly, I was going to ask you this, Dan. I don't understand. How do you go to sleep so early?
Gotta prepare, man. The whole week I went to bed a little bit earlier every day. First it was like 11, then it was 10, then it was 9, then yesterday it was 8:15.
Like, how are you capable of, like, can you actually just go to sleep on demand or whatever?
No, I do. I'm not very good at going to sleep.
So you just sit there like staring at the at the roof or whatever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Open up some Instagram, check out some reels, send them to you, get no response, get depressed. That helps me go to sleep.
Should see my Instagram, man. It's full of cats.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, just cats and, like, food.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing for me. Someone I met in Korea really likes hamsters, and I had no interest in hamsters before, but she really got me liking a lot of hamsters because she'd send me pictures of her hamsters all the time. I'm like, man, so now my Instagram is just full on hamsters.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is she told me, don't send me Instagram pictures. Like, so now I've got all these hamster photos with nobody to send them to.
Women and Instagram. Not always a lethal combination. And yeah, man. So you got to get prepared to go to sleep. What's your ritual? Like
It's
do a
never.
little rain dance and.
Well, I mean, with Artosis streaming, I just
Oh
turned
yeah,
that stream
you
on
just
for a
turn
little
it
bit.
on.
Yeah, I got
I
that
mean, it's
running.
perfect timing. Except
Yeah,
last night was Friday, so he wasn't
I
streaming.
know. But the other days he was. He got me in the mood. I was watching him.
Yeah.
I love watching him getting sniped, as he says. There was somebody that two gated plus cannon rushed him the other night. So I was
Yeah.
pinging TT1 on high alert, like, hey, you need to check in right now because this game's gonna be over pretty soon. He called that guy a bum, which made my day.
Yeah.
It looks like
That's pretty tame.
yeah, looks like the interview's over, so that means probably going into what's this? More ASL highlights.
It's new tech, man.
It's new tech. We gotta check out that trophy, man. Like you said,
Soup.
Afrika rebranded to Soup.
Are they gonna change the website?
Uh, I guess you would imagine they would.
Like, is it gonna be Soup TV or Soup.com?
I'm trying to remember, what does Soup even mean?
It's like an acronym, actually. I'm pretty sure. Well, so is Afrika an acronym, actually.
I'm not sure exactly. Somebody posted about it on Team Liquid a few months ago, but I'm not sure exactly what it translates to. But
Yeah.
well, I asked around for some predictions. Some people really like Soulkey.
You asked around for some predictions.
Yeah, some people liked Hero.
Who's
Who do you got?
Who's these people? Who's the people you've been asking around?
Jaeyoon. Well,
okay.
I guess
you
I
messaged him. You're like,
I guess I didn't actually message him. He just gave me his opinion.
Yeah.
TT1, Rhett, Eon Zerga just messaged a few minutes ago, and seems to be pretty split between Soulkey and Hero. But who does Guy got winning this?
Honestly, Hero, man.
Oh, you got Hero?
Yeah.
Okay, well, generally I try to be balanced here and go against whatever the other caster says. But this time around, I'm going to go with my actual pick. And I'm going to go with Hero here.
All right.
Not that I watch ZVZ, because just like you, I don't really.
It's your pick now, because I said it, right?
Yeah, I don't tune into ZVZ. But the reason I've got Hero is not necessarily because I think he's better than Soulkey. I think they're pretty much even. But whenever there's someone that has not gotten a championship, I'm rooting for them, man. These players, every single person that you've seen in ASL, they have dedicated their entire lives to StarCraft. So I want them to get the trophy. Even though I know Soulkey wants back-to-back, I want to see somebody, reach the ultimate end-game goal here and finally get one.
Well, let me tell you, man, with the amount of money they make, they can buy themselves custom-made trophies.
Yeah.
For winning every pro league they win. Like the little the small trophies Zen made for the New York LAN.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only trophy I have in my house.
Well, I wouldn't know about that because I lost. But you know who would have one? You? Artosis. I think he's got the third place one, right?
Yeah, he's got the
Jaeyoon's got multiple trophies. He's signed up.
Jane's he's a Hall of Famer, man. He's a legend.
I know. He said he was signing up for the next LAN just so he could defend his title. He wants to three-peat.
Yeah. About that.
Are you going? You're gonna make sure that doesn't happen?
I'm not sure yet. I might take a nice break from Brood War for a while.
Well, not sure doesn't mean you're not going, so could be.
That's a fair point. Are you going?
No, that one's too far. That's the Seattle one, right?
Far. Yeah.
No, if I'm traveling that far, we're just continuing the traveling across the ocean all the way to Korea.
Oh yeah, we're going back, man. Part 2.
Could be part 2, but not anytime soon.
Well, I'll be rooting for you, man.
Didn't you say that you were going to be going to Korea? Then that just, I guess, didn't happen. Well, when are you going to go back to Japan? I thought you were all about Japan.
Yeah, all about Japan, man. I don't know, man. Maybe when I get my things together. I've been ASL has been taking a lot of me. I have to wake up at like 4 a.m. every day and stuff.
Every day.
Well, every
Yeah.
couple of you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
But you've been gaming pretty hard also,
Yeah,
because,
I've been gaming pretty hard, but I think maybe a bit too hard.
well, you got BSL coming up. You're one of the two
Uh,
Terrans.
yeah, but you know what I've realized when I practice a lot, I do poorly, so I've given up on practicing.
Okay, well, I mean, I have
I'm a
this.
WoW gamer now, man. You
Oh,
should have seen me.
here we go.
Oh, we're in here.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, you're a WoW gamer now. I mean, I have the same experience as you do. Like, WCG, as you know, it was the only tournament for multiple years. So 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. I mean, I'm going ham, right? I'm going really hard, practicing as hard as I can. I feel like 2003, I had a good shot.
Yeah.
2005, I was in Clan at that point. So I'm like, okay, I'm destined to win. And then I got knocked out in groups, right? And I was like, dude, what? I'm playing the best I've ever played, and I get
Yeah,
knocked
who'd
out
you
in
lose
groups.
to?
I lost. I can't remember the first person I lost to, but then the other guy, I forget his name. Oh, Lasgosu. He was a Korean
Last.
American from New York. At the time, people were saying Lasgosu was very good, which I'm not necessarily disagreeing with, but like I practiced so much, man, and then it's like I get last, and it's like, all right, something's got to change. So funny enough, 2007, I just played the qualifier just because, wasn't playing at all, and I got second that year.
Yeah.
So it just happens, right? You kind of put your own pressure on yourself, and then you end up doing poorly. I think I mentioned in the BSL cast at WCG when I was on EG, I was telling these other EG players, Machine, Inca, and them, do not talk to me, man. I'm that nervous. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm in my own world. I'm like in the bathroom feeling horrible. Like just don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous and I always do so bad.
It's I mean, it's hard when you don't have that many tournaments. I think if you had a lot of tournaments or if you had a lot of things to play in daily, it kind of curbs the pressure situations and stuff, but I think in the foreign scene it's pretty dead, so it's hard to get that experience and then, you know,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
tough.
what it is.
Yeah, now that ever since 2007, not that I don't care, but I don't feel as nervous anymore. And I think generally afterwards I had done pretty okay with myself. I still never won, which I was hoping for, but I'll take second. I'm good with that. And of course, now with BSL, like you said, now that there's more tournaments, BSL, there was Have It You and stuff like that going on. Uh, Definitely, I'm sure a lot more people have gotten more comfortable. We're going to switch back to the ASL screen right now because they're breaking down some things. We're going to look at how the bracket unfolded from the round of 8. As you can see, Sharp went pretty freaking far. He did really well versus Best. Hero, of course, made it all the way to the finals. And Snow, who, like we said, we thought he was going to be the Protoss hero, crushed through Bisu, looked unstoppable. And even looked unstoppable in the first 2 games versus Soulkey. But Soulkey, with the miraculous, what was it, 4-0 comeback, makes it into the finals. We're looking at today's map picks. I was looking at this last night, and there wasn't really anything that stood out to me. We've got pretty standard maps from both sides. It looks like, I guess the one thing that I thought was interesting was Troy was the 6th pick as opposed to the last pick. I guess nobody wants to play Blitz for some reason.
Well, Troy's like insane because it's very likely in a ZVZ that you can kill the assimilators. Because often, there's often situations where someone will be up their ramp and someone will be camping the bottom side of the ramp. And if you get that situation on Troy, they're just like walling you off, basically.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think it creates an interesting dynamic in the build orders, right? So, man, what I noticed casting with Red is it's hard being you, Dan.
It is.
You're sitting there, emceeing everything, trying to talk about everything. I'm like zoning out here. I'm just tabbing out, looking at my Instagram reel. I saw some squared hard-boiled eggs. It's kind of good. It's like hard-boiled eggs, but in square
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then I come out here and I whip out some stuff like, oh yeah, that's what's really interesting. That's what Rhett felt like, man. He's just dropping these knowledge bombs. I'm like there trying to keep up with what's going on the screen, and he's the one sounding smart all the time.
well, it is hard, man, because also I'm like an analyst type of caster also, right? Because I'm a player. We're desperately missing people like Sham 2 who can MC like you said. We used to have him. He's
No,
no
well, you're
longer.
a great MC, dude.
Well, thank you, but it is, I agree, it is not easy. It
And
seems
you don't
easy.
really know what you're talking about anyway, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, by the way, then that graphic we saw before a minute ago, we'd always talk about how heroes consistently like round to 4. If I read the graphic correctly, it said he's round of 8. He's been round of 8 9 times. Soulkey had been round of 8 8 times. Hero round of 4 6 times, which is crazy. Soulkey round of 4 3 times, but out of those 3 times, he ended up getting, the championship. We're looking at what is this? Okay, the final rounds of season 16 and season 17, taking down Minnie and Snow in the round of 8, in the round of 4, in round of 16 from last season, took down JYJ and Rush. So he's killed some killer Terrans and Protoss, and now it's time for him to take down the final boss of Zerg with Hero here in the finals.
Yeah, but who is really the final boss of Zerg? Is it Hero or is it Soulkey?
Yeah, that's what we're going to find out.
Damn, it's crazy, but Soulkey basically came back in like all of his series. He was down 0-2 versus Mini, he was down 0-2 versus Snow.
Yeah,
Maybe Soulkey might be the first person in ASL history to lose the first map.
it could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe he just gets that extra fire in his soul once he knows that he's on the ropes.
Soulkey's such a cool name, man, honestly. I think that's the coolest name I've
Yeah,
ever seen.
I can agree with that. I mean, is it just a combination of 2 words, or does it have some type of
I forget. I feel like
reference?
I've heard some story related to this, but I'm not sure, and I don't know if it was maybe even you saying it. Maybe not, but I think it's a great dude. They're loaded up on these graphics. Production team was like, okay, guys, listen, it's a ZVZ. We got to have this much airtime for our sponsors and add, whatever. So they're just like slamming it in, but
Yeah, there's too much stuff for me to kind of translate
I'll tell
here,
you,
but yeah,
Hero on his thing saying, well, one of these days I'll win. Surely it's this time.
yeah,
I kept losing to Terran, and I don't know, man. Everyone's just so lucky. Every time I
is that what
play,
they says?
yeah, that's what it's saying. And Soulkey is just like, well, pretty much the same. I don't know.
Well, and Sulky's graphics near the bottom, I couldn't necessarily completely understand what it was saying, but it mentioned something about upgrades in the Zerg matchup. That gives me hope that we may actually get into, late game tech there. There's also a mention of a Jinx, and maybe that Jinx is
Yeah.
referencing what you're talking about. Maybe he loses the first game and comes back and actually takes the series. It looks like we're finally going to be getting into the game in just a minute.
Yeah, I mean, both players getting their game faces on.
Is that a game face right there? They need
Absolutely.
to get the
Hero looks
football,
like a killer, man.
get the football, the black paint under their eyes and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have their WWE entrances. You see those
Yeah,
fireworks, man?
yeah. We
They
gotta.
got their own theme songs.
Yeah, the
I'm
only
waiting
other.
for that pop. Oh, is that Soulkey? That looks like Soulkey's mom or something. She has Soulkey's face, man.
I mean, it
That's
might
his
be.
family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably is. Yeah, the only player that has their own theme song is Steve Jung, but he's not in ASL yet. I'm still
No,
rooting for
he
him
just uses the
someday.
Kurt Angle song,
Yeah, I
man.
know. That is by far the best intro I've ever heard. I
It's a good one, man. I love it.
yeah.
But there's a lot of other good ones. You know, if you smell
Yeah.
what
Who's
the rock
that?
is
The Rock.
cooking. What do you mean? It's Rocky Malvita, Bobby what was it? What was this for?
Rocky Balboa? That's
No,
not The Rock.
Rocky Maivia.
Rocky Maivia. And look at this. We're finally getting into game 1. Here we go. This is it. The first match of our finals. Hero facing off versus Soulkey. First map gonna be Radion.
Yeah, you sound excited, Nyoken, and so am I. 4-player map. I've never heard you this excited about a map, but there's always a first time for everything. And there's a first time for a Hive game, so it's going to be this one.
Yeah, and look at this. We've got cross spawn. This could definitely be the game we get Hive tech play.
Oh my god. Hero already going for the anti-scout. I'm pretty sure 99% of the time you want to send your overlord like Soulkey is on this map. Basically horizontal. But Hero, he's going for a vertical scout, so very tricky. I mean, that to me indicates that he kind of wants to maybe play something a bit more risky, like a 12 hatch.
Could be. By the way, graphic at the bottom right. We've got our top 4 ZVZers on the planet. They're 3rd and 4th place overall, so whoever wins here is going to overtake the other player considerably. This is predictions. Who's going to win the first set? It looks like Hero's got the lead there by most of the pros. They really think he's going to win map 1, and as we stated before, the person that wins map 1 generally wins the series, so they probably think he's going to win the whole thing. And you're right, because this is going to be a 12 hatch, unless somebody pulls out a 12 pool, which I don't think is really that common, at least at pro level.
Yeah, it looks like actually both players are going to 12 hatch, which isn't something you see very common. I think Soulkey, maybe if his overlord at the bottom would have scouted... Oh, but actually Soulkey's going to 12 hatch in base. So I think actually if Soulkey's overlord would have scouted Hero... And you can see exactly... I mean, look at this, man. Soulkey, his overlord was diverted. You see that? He went to the middle. If Soulkey was top right, Hero would have played a big trick on him here. So luckily for Soulkey, he's not going to miss out on any scouting information doing that. But yeah, mirror builds here. And Hero gets to put his hatchery down at the natural. So just a distinct advantage. I mean, there's really, in this specific situation, there's absolutely no downside for Hero. And he's going to have access to that second gas if it ever gets to a lair game, which it most likely will, you know, given the fact that they both went for 2 hatch.
Indeed. So this is definitely going to be on Soulkey to do something about this base. You do not want it to get to late game. Just going to be a massive gas advantage, and you know this matchup is all about the gas. We've got... thought we were going to have Overlord's intercept, but I forgot that we've got a anti-pattern, like you said.
Yeah.
And I wonder if anybody will go straight speed, or are we going to have a lair from both sides? Okay, there's lair there, and lair there.
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know anything about this matchup, Nyoken, but seems to me like lair would make most sense. You know, you're really rich with the 12 hatch. And when you have a lot of money like this, like, might as well go for that lair. Now both players making lings, and, you know, at the end of the day, well, they still don't know what their opponent is doing here. But this is way past the 9-pull timing. So they more or less, at least Hero does know, he should know Soulkey is most likely not on a 9-pull. Soulkey, however, is pushing out with a couple more lings than just the one, so playing a bit more aggressively.
Yeah, this by the way, this in-base hatch, whenever I've seen this, seems to be a ling flood. Like, you can get tricky here, like what Soulkey has done, which is he's sent some lings over to the side. He can obviously hold his ramp forever. And Hero pokes in here and says, wait a minute, you don't have a natural. And you can see immediately puts down some colonies. Now, he still is unaware whether it's a 1 base, because if it's a 1 base, this colony needs to be a spore, because his spire is not going to be in time.
Yeah, you can't really tell so far, you know, in Hero's shoes.
he realizes that actually it's not a fast fire for whatever reason. And he's actually gone for an immediate sunken. And like I was saying, generally when I see this, there's a lot of lings, and there they are, and we're on the move.
Yeah, and Hero has no spotting for this, and I'm not quite sure. I mean, Hero's mining with drones at his nat, so he has 3 drones there, and those were definitely not transferred, so he did make a couple more drones. That's going to be a lot of lings. Can this one sunk help in the defense here? I mean, Soulkey does have an advantage in terms of the ling count, but is it enough to bust? Let's see. He's going in.
Oh, that's a great SimCity. Perfect timing with the Evolution Chamber. The drones, even though they don't have the highest DPS, they're still dealing some damage and, you know, body blocking. And look at this setup. This was easy, man. And that was so many lings built from Soulkey. I mean, of course, there was a lot of lings built by Hero. But if I was to guess, I'd probably say Hero's up at least 2 workers, maybe 3. And look at this. He built more lings instead of mutas. He's all in with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's trying to hit, well, he's just trying to hit some kind of timing here. And of course, when the Spire finishes for Hero as well, if he morphed all of these larvae into mutas or something. But the problem for Soulkey is that it's cross spawn. Look at how long it takes for his lings to get across the map. And that's giving Hero time to morph these mutas in. And, you know, by the time this attack hits, the mutas are out.
And Soulkey's going to have to retreat. And now what do you do as Soulkey? You're down your gas at your natural, which, by the way, Hero has already started mining. Yeah, you got to go into Scourge now because you got to pray for some miracle hits to try and catch up in this game. He's only built 2, though. If he can get some connections, if he can split the connections somehow, that would be great for him. But it's going to be so tough because it looks like he's already down at least 2 Mutalisks.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a really difficult game for Soulkey. This is pretty much all but over, honestly, unless Hero blunders tremendously. Because Hero has the natural gas. Like, he's mining the nat gas this whole time. So from here on out, he's just outscaling Soulkey. And I mean, he's already got a supply advantage. So let's see how the engagement goes.
Oh, he did. Oh, that's Soulkey that's been cornered in the top right, and this is probably the game-ending move. Like you said, there's just way too many mutas. Look at this. There's, what, 2 left over versus, I guess, like 7 or 8 for Hero, and this is a massacre, and that means that game 1 is going to go over to Hero right there.
ZVZ, baby.
That is ZVZ, and can't remember exactly who that is, but that's one of the leaders of the university. He's got a huge following, by the way, and he's clearly rooting for Hero.
Yeah. Well, that was really unfortunate for Soulkey. He did go for that in-base 12 hatch, which can be strong against something, especially on a 4-player map. Like, that can really curb 9 pool sometimes. You know, you can kind of skew the percentage into your favor a bit more than were you to put the 12 hatch on the low ground. But that's pretty much the only thing the 12 hatch is in base is good against is 9 pool. So, and it's good, I guess, for going. I don't know. I don't want to go on a long tangent, Nyoken, because I'm not a ZVZ gamer. But just didn't work out that game for Soulkey.
Yeah, I mean, it could be as simple as it's like a poker leveling war. You got a 4-player huge map. You think they're gonna go hatch first, and therefore you think that the opponent's going to go 9 pool in response. And like you said, hatch in the main beats 9 pool by a massive amount. And this time around, didn't work out, but you got to give props to Hero. It was perfect read there with the sunken, and we've got some ASL news, so we'll be coming back after this break. Right, we are back. Long break there. Kind of interesting rock, paper, scissors matchup at the very end. Hero won that, and he won the first game of our series, which is good sign for him and Hero fans out there. He's looking pretty strong. And Soulkey, maybe he's just doing Soulkey things. He's setting us up for that reverse sweep once again.
Yeah. I'm surprised you watched that whole thing now. Can I tabbed out?
I saw you left your screen. You just got up. You're like, I'm out.
I'm out, dude. I got better things to do, like walk around my basement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need to walk around, get that blood flowing to stay awake for sure.
I mean, I had a full coffee. I feel great.
Yeah.
I think if someone is to win being down the first game here, it's definitely going to be Soulkey, but I think he's going to have a difficult road ahead of him.
Yeah, you know what? Last night, I mean, I could just be talking nonsense here, but I feel like from what I remember in ZVZ games, don't players like streak quite a lot? Like, I don't remember the last time I saw ZVZ like alternating wins, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like generally when somebody wins, they win like 2 or 3 in a row. But maybe I'm wrong. At least I feel like I've noticed that ZVZ more often than not.
I don't know, man. I think people just streak generally. I feel like I've seen it in many matchups. But game number 2 here, guys, on Neo Dark Origin. This is going to be Soulkey's map pick. And, I mean, he's got to bring it, he's got to bring it back. It'd be great for him to win this one and kind of stop the momentum. Let's see if he can do it. Countdown, 1, 0, and we're in.
And we're in indeed. And this time around, it is a 2-player map. Both players will, of course, find each other first. And will anyone pull off something sneaky? I think last season, I think it was actually Soulkey versus Hero. Someone built a hatch in the other player's base, right, on Invader.
Yeah, I think we've also seen some crazy stuff on this map, on Dark Origin. You can, for example, hide a hatchery at the top, at the corner in your main, and the Overlord's not going to see it. But I think I know what you're talking about, Nyoken. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff in ZVZ, and especially in a long series like this, someone's going to bring out something nuts. But let's see. I mean, first game, Hero did go for that 12. I mean, they both went 12 hatch. But I think Hero had a very, because he placed the 12 hatch at the Nat. Yeah, he's going to mix it up here. He's going to go 9 pull.
9 pool indeed. He's going to be the one that wants to be aggressive this time. Last time Soulkey tried to be aggressive, ended up not working out. And again, a lot of players think Hero's going to win set 2. And if Soulkey puts down a hatch here, he's in big time trouble unless it's in his main. This is the time he needs it in his main.
Oh my god, man.
Oh, is it 12 pool?
Yeah, 12 pull.
Wow, this is a big so build order counter, isn't it?
I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong person. I think, obviously 12 pull is good versus 9 pull. I think it's kind of universally known that the matchups is 12 hatch, 9, beats 12 pull, beats 9 pull, beats 12 hatch. But from what I've heard, sometimes talking to some of the NA Zergs, is that 9 pull can pretty much be 50-50 against 12 pull, especially depending on whether it's speed versus lair or something of that nature. So I don't think this is the worst thing for Hero, but we'll see what he chooses to go. He actually goes lair first.
It is interesting to hear that it's not as favored as I was anticipating, because as a non-Zerg player, just looking at the minimap, this guy's got a pool that's going to be in time for the for the Lings. He's got an additional hatch. He can match the lair timing almost. Like, everything you're looking at here makes you think, like, well, he's just basically matching everything with better econ. But the Lings are already at the Nat. Actually, a drone being pulled.
I mean, he's got this is still kind of nerve-wracking here for Soulkey. I'm surprised he went for that lair, and actually he was going to go for this engagement. But that was a disaster, and You know, the games can be over very quickly in this matchup, and losing 2 Lings like that in an early trade, especially when you're down production as Hero is, like Hero, he cannot afford to take a trade like that. I'm surprised Soulkey saw those Lings coming and he still went for that lair, because if speed finished, it can be kind of, you know, dicey situation for Soulkey. But I think in this situation, 12 pool versus 9 pool, if the 12 pool player matches what the 9 pool player is doing with their gas, they're pretty much in a good spot.
Well, Soulkey has a couple of options here. He killed 2 Lings, which is obviously massive, especially when the opposing player is on 1 hatch. So he can Ling flood. Now he can also go big econ, because he knows that, well, this guy's definitely not going to beat me with Lings anymore. So Hero in kind of trouble here. It looks like actually Soulkey is going to just hold the ramp. You know, we talked about this, you know, being if this was a Troy situation, you're in trouble. And he is going to drone behind it.
Yeah, this game is pretty much done. I don't see any way for Hero to get back from this. And Hero's actually trying to bust down this ramp, but that's not really going to work. He's taking really poor trades, and Soulkey's going to hold this ramp. And Hero, I mean, look at the supply. It's just plummeting 12 to 20, and this is ZVZ, man. Like, this is like being down like 100 supply, like 200 supply versus 100 supply.
It is quite a big advantage for Soulkey right now. I am actually surprised that it ended up being speed from Hero, because I was sitting here thinking like, well, what's one way I get back into this game? Well, maybe I cut the 100 gas for speed, and that's an additional Mutilus. But now that he's actually the one that spent it, and look at this, Soulkey doesn't have speed, so he's actually just up so much gas now.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's done all of this without getting speed as well. So, I mean, this game's pretty much done and dusted. There's absolutely no way for Hero to come back. You know, we're gonna go through the motions here. I mean, the mutas are out. Let's see.
Well, we're praying for the 34 out of 34 supply block for Soulkey, so Hero can get.
We were
back
praying for the
game.
26 out of 26, man, something like that.
He needed that to get back in this game.
Oh my god, he's not even finding the overlords. That's the worst part. I mean, maybe if he gets 1 overlord, maybe if he got 2 overlords, that would be good. That would be what he really needs. But he can't even find 1.
Oh, a Hero lost his overlord. I didn't even see it get sniped.
I think it was I think it was in the main, I guess. Well, yeah. I mean, this is. I think Hero kind of knows. Yeah, as soon as your first Lings go for really poor trades like that in the early game, you kind of know it's not going to be a good game.
Well, okay, does he have any Scourge at all? It is 5 Mutilus versus 5 Mutilus, but there's Scourge advantage in Soulkey's favor. So not only does he have to win the Mutilus battle, he also has to somehow avoid the Scourge. 7 supply lead for Soulkey. You know, it doesn't sound like very much, but in CVZ, it's huge when the supplies are only 25.
Absolutely. And, you know, the problem for Hero is he doesn't have... I guess can explain why this game's completely over. Hero just doesn't have a second hatchery. I mean, Soulkey is doubling the production and doubling the gas income. This matchup's all about that gas income, because it dictates how much how many mutas you can have, how many scourges you can have.
Well, right now, Hero does have more Mutilus. It's like either 8 versus 6 or 8 versus 7. If he was to go right now, literally right now, maybe there's some world where he can pick off all the Scourge and get a killing blow, but it has to be right now. He can't wait. He ends up losing one of his Mutilus right there. Another one's heavily damaged. And with that additional Mutilus coming out, it looks like that window has already closed.
I gotta say, Hero's Mutilus micro is looking real good today. Maybe a bit more on point than even Soulkey, so I think he's got that going for him, but you know, this game is just like climbing Mount Everest. He's so far behind. Literally impossible. I mean, impossible with 1 hatchery production. I mean, maybe if it was 2, if Soulkey had 2 hatch but was only on 1 gas, maybe, but He has that second gas also.
Well, this is going to trigger it. Killing the Overlord means he's supply blocked. He can't wait any longer. That would be like 200 additional more gas for Soulkey. Here's going to be the final battle of the game. And there's just a massive lead for Soulkey. Look at how fast everything dies. There it is. GG comes out. And that means at least we've got a tied series here, 1-1.
Yeah, that's a big win there for Soulkey, stifling any kind of momentum Hero would have had from that first game. And also crucially, like just picking up a nice build order win as well. You know, the mind games can play such a huge part. And you were talking about streaking in the series, but especially in a matchup like ZVZ where it's all about build selection. You know, if your opponent ever gets inside your head, it can go south very quick.
Indeed, because of how volatile it is, you make a couple bad, not necessarily bad decisions, but decisions that get you countered. You start questioning, like, okay, is everything that I prepared just going to be countered?
Yeah.
You know, and because so far we've seen games just end. What was that, a 6-minute 30 game? Like, it is very important to have a good opening. So I am happy to see that it is a tied score. And we'll be going now back into Hero's map pick. He got the third pick. Can't remember was it Citadel? I feel like it was Citadel.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'd have to take a look again and see what the actual rundown is. Oh, it's Apocalypse, actually. After I said Citadel, I'm like, I don't think that was correct. It's going to be Apocalypse here, so it's going to be a 3-player map. And, well, Apocalypse is one of those maps where somebody can be massively favored if they get the correct scouting pattern.
Yeah, that's the nature of 3-player maps. They're actually the most you know, you might think it's the 4-player maps that are the most random, right? Because there's the most amount of possible spawning locations, but it's actually the 3-player maps that are the most random because it's the highest likelihood that one player gets the correct scout and one player gets the incorrect scout, which gives the correct scouting player, like a massive advantage.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the finals, you can't veto anything. But if I was playing this, 100% Apocalypse would be my see you later map. Definitely don't want to play it. And because I guess it's ZVZ, we're going to be skipping an ad this time and get directly into Game 3. So let's do so and find out who will go into Game 4 with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, let's get into this countdown, man. The new year is coming. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year!
Yeah,
Here we go.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, it's close, man. They're also Happy New Year.
Yeah. And so in the bottom left, we do have Hero, and at the top middle, we've got Soulkey, and that scout pattern. Look at that. This is exactly what we were talking about.
I mean, if both players go for, you know, normal scouting, you know, that let's go on this big rant here, actually.
Let's do it.
If both players go for the meta scout, which is sending the Overlord towards the natural, then 100% of the time, someone is going to have a massive advantage. But actually, if you choose to go for the anti-scout, that's like the lower variance play. Because it's very likely your opponent's not doing that. But then, you know, what if they start doing it, blah, blah, blah. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think when you opt to go for this scouting pattern, like just the normal one like this, you're really hoping to be the one that's advantaged by it, and Hero got the correct locations.
And by the way, that graphic at the bottom right, we saw a few players flip in favor of Soulkey on map 3, so I guess they've recognized that Soulkey generally falls in the first couple games, but then starts making his comeback in Game 3. And we've got, again, another 9-pool versus 12-pool opener.
That's actually from Soulkey, that looks like an overpool or something like an 11 pool or something weird, but he's not taking his gas, and his gas is a bit later. Okay, so this is an interesting It's pretty much the 12 pool archetype because it's the pool after the Overlord. But it wasn't an it wasn't a it wasn't an overpool because I think he made drones as well before putting down the pool. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty much a 12 pool.
Maybe a slight
Yeah, it looks like an
adjustment,
11 pool. Yeah,
something like that. I was looking at the graphics, so didn't
well,
necessarily catch exactly what it was.
12 o'clock. 12 o'clock apocalypse means the drones mine incredibly fast. So I think he probably just thought he would be richer from the boosting to get the pull slightly faster.
Well, the Lings have not been shown just yet. Hero's hiding them for now. Okay, that was not straight lair, right? I think it was speed first and then lair. I'm pretty sure he should have been able to mine 200 gas by now, but I could be wrong. Either way, Lings are just hiding on the high ground here, waiting for their moment. Maybe waiting to see if there's an additional drone that gets built, and if he spots it, that's just going to trigger the go switch.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't paying attention to see if Hero went speed or not, but actually, Soulkey's gonna see that Hero's coming, and he's gonna see the link count, so he knows he has to keep making links. But okay, he has to pull a couple drones here, and that was link speed. That was also why he was waiting. Hero was, and on this link speed timing, I mean, can he get any damage done? I don't know. Like again, Soulkey rolled the correct build order here, so he should be fine.
This is the dance of ZVZ. Hatch is exposed. There's no speed for the opponent, and that hatch is already halfway dead. There's a lot of DPS here. And Soulkey, he's going to try and defend now. The drone drill was pretty good.
Oh, perfect defense there from Soulkey, and that looked like immaculate from Hero's perspective as well. But Soulkey went right when the eggs popped, and look at this, the Spire already on the way for Hero.
Massive Spire timing advantage, but again, massive larva advantage for Soulkey. He could start flooding some Lings if he wants, but the Overlord spots everything. Like, he sees literally everything. However, I can already see it now. If Hero doesn't get a killing blow here, he's going to have 2 exposed Overlords, and he's going to be under getting supply blocked multiple times.
I'm surprised Soulkey's going for the Spire. I actually think, well, I'm not surprised. He should be able to, but Soulkey had to pull those 3 drones for the longest time, right? So his economy definitely suffered. And, well, Hero's going to go for, a bit more poke. Now, Apocalypse, there's no ramp, so it's hard to defend on this map, and this is 2 hatch production, so Soulkey can pretty much overwhelm Hero here.
Yeah, this is going to be an overwhelming lead. Oh my gosh, there's so many Lings here. I don't remember seeing a Sunken in this main. Okay, it's just now starting.
Oh, and the gamble. Hero actually morphed the mutas here, so he has to survive. That's a long time before the sun comes up, but oh my god, Soulkey's just getting right in there. He's going to kill all the drones.
He's going to kill the Sunken also, which means he's also going to kill the Spire, because like you said, it takes so long. Oh, this game's just over, man. It's Jover.
Yeah, that ended so quickly. Hero taps out, and Soulkey, oh my god, after dropping the first game, he's already up 2-1.
He's on fire now. He just needed that 1 game loss to trigger his Super Saiyan mode. Now he's in the driver's seat. And what do you do now if you're Hero? Every game you've opened early pool, you've gotten blasted.
Yeah.
Do you go 12 hatch again? I feel like now you're kind of getting set up here. If he opens 12 hatch, I think the likelihood of Soulkey going early pool is pretty likely in the next map.
Yeah, I mean, Soulkey, he's in the driver's seat right now. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of the mind games. Like, when you slap down 9 pulls twice in a row like that, the third game, like, you can play confidently with your build choice, and it's very unlikely, honestly, for Hero to go 9 pull again. So is this where he's going to put another 12 hatch? But then, obviously, the mind games, we can go down the rabbit hole. In my opinion, Nyoken, there's 2 types of players. There's a player that commits to the 1 build, and then there's a player that will do 1 build and then swap to something else, so... We'll see what kind of player Hero is in a moment here, but I think we're gonna go into a break at some point.
Yeah, it should be a break this time because we're already at game 3. We've only been in the game about 20 minutes total, yet the
Yeah.
cast is now over an hour long. Man, I was hoping that we could get to see some mid-game ZVZ. Don't necessarily need to have Hive
Oh,
Tech,
the chair,
but give
man.
me like a 10-minute ZVZ where we can actually get, more than one group of Mutalisks fighting each
Yeah.
other. And let me fix your camera. You've got have the filter on you.
Oh, the filter? I don't
Okay.
know. I don't see any of this, man. I'm just looking at Caster Park here. Um.
See you later. Chroma key. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I had my, we retired the green screen already.
Yeah. It was a one and done type of move.
Yeah, I'm not setting that up ever again, man.
Well,
Uh yeah. Well, what's oh, you're gonna cast BSL later today.
nope.
No?
I said if I'm waking up this early for ASL, you got to find somebody else for BSL because I don't know what my schedule's going to be. So
Okay.
tomorrow though, which is unfortunate because you're playing Bonnet today, right?
No, I'm playing tomorrow.
Okay. After I said that, I was like, wow, you're going to be pretty tired facing
Yeah.
off versus him. I think, and I guess instead, who's it going to be? John Hoon versus
I don't know the other players.
Dragon? I
I
can't
don't
remember
pay
exactly.
attention to that, you know.
You don't care. It doesn't
No,
matter who the
absolutely not.
opponent is because you're going to win anyways. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, in another life, possibly.
Well, even though my graphic went down, uh, again, this cast, since this is the last cast of the ASL, we got to shout out StarCastTV, which is the channel that we post the video on. You guys most likely will be watching this on YouTube, but without your continued support, StarCastTV can't run. So if you're enjoying the content, you should consider becoming a Patreon supporter or make a direct donation to krrrzzz on YouTube. And we use that money to create this content and create other Star Leagues. In fact, started posting the next season of the StarCastTV Star League Season 2. You guys should see that on the channel now. Group A and Group B were both just posted. We've got 6 more groups.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, StarCastTV Star League, it's basically ASL Junior. A lot of your favorite players are going to be playing in it. We've got some, uncommon faces there. Like, for example, Cop was in there. There's a Terran player named Jiter. Beast was in there. He's played very well last season, so you should definitely check it out. And I'm looking forward to see who wins that Star League. Last season we had Snow win, which is why I've been hyping him up so much because he looks like he's on fire these days.
Yeah, but I mean, getting fourth in a tournament is an amazing result, in my opinion. Of course, we tend to idolize, I mean, it's part of the entertainment and part of the narrative building is putting the first place finishers on a much higher pedestal than they really are on. I think if you get first, second, third, and fourth place, they're pretty much the same in my eyes. So Snow had an incredible tournament, honestly, and he had some incredible games. And the Snow versus Soulkey series could have easily been worthy of a final. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was really good. Just like Sharp. Sharp has had a really good tournament as well. And I'm surprised we're not getting. I guess it's been a while now that there's no third place matches anymore, right?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, when I went to check the schedule, I was like, are they not having a third place match this season? I can't remember the last one we saw.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if they'll actually bring it back or maybe it doesn't get enough views. But I agree with your sentiment where, fourth place, not necessarily exactly the same as first place, but if you were to replay the round of 4 bracket, it's pretty likely you're going to get a different result, right?
Oh, even the round of 8, honestly.
Yeah. Like as soon as you get past like the round of 24 and replay the brackets multiple times, you're going to get a different result every time. Meanwhile, we are going to be going into an actual commercial here, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. And we are back. We're about to get into game 4 in just a moment. Soulkey, who started off down 0-1, he's now brought it back to 2-1 in his favor. If he wins here, he'll be on match point, and that's going to be a nightmare scenario for Hero. And unfortunately for him, it's Soulkey's map pick, man. It's retro as our next pick.
Yeah, if he wins, he'll win.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Dangerous
it's dangerous
territory.
if you keep losing.
Yeah. Did you know?
As it turns out, yeah, if you lose too much, you don't end up winning.
Yeah.
So Hero's got to get on it.
Yeah.
It is a Soulkey's map pick, but fortunately for them, it is also a mirror. So does it really matter? It's about ZVZ, honestly. There's so little things that matter in terms of the maps. Like, it's kind of like PvP in a sense, but is it 2-player map? Is it 3-player map? Is it 4-player map? And then does it have a ramp? That's pretty much it. So all these maps that are Radion actually is an interesting map because of the symmetry on it. I guess you could add that to like 4-player map. Like, is it rotationally symmetric or is it like vertically, horizontally symmetric? Because that could spice up the scouting patterns and stuff. But whatever, man. Yeah, that'll turn into an impromptu rant. All the maps are the same. Was I was gonna get at.
By the way, did you? I don't know if you could read that sign at the bottom, but under Soulkey's picture, it said "need money." I think that's the first time I've actually seen somebody's sign say "need money" as opposed to Soulkey or his actual name.
I mean, "need money" is like such a great ID.
It is quite funny. Oh man.
Yeah, I think the story behind that wasn't it that his he got scammed or whatever.
I don't know. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, he got scammed out of a lot of his earnings, and I don't know if it was related to like some macaroon. I don't know, someone else. The macaron shop, whatever. That's last, I think. But Soulkey had like a lot of his prize money. Like, I don't know, he lost a lot of it to like some scam or something, and ever since he was like, he's gonna need money or whatever.
Yeah. Man, it sucks because there's a bunch of people that have gotten scammed. I think Light also got scammed. Can't remember exactly for what reason.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of players that scammed the view. Oh wait, let's not talk about
that. Yep. So looks like trying to read these signs.
Scamming's a two-way street, Nyoken. That's all I'm getting at.
Indeed.
Sometimes I scam myself waking up in the morning, and sometimes I scam you.
I know you do.
I show up, and then you have to deal with me. It's just...
actually, I was messaging Rhett before the game started, and I linked him that you had said you had not slept yet, and I called you a couple times before the cast started. I'm like, oh my god, he fell asleep within the past 30 minutes.
I would never.
Okay, well, here we go. Finals set 4 is on the menu here. Let's get into game 4 between Soulkey and Hero.
That was fireworks, man.
Well, in the bottom left, we do have our red Zerg. It is Hero.
And the blue Zerg in the top right.
Well, I think I've only gotten scammed twice in my life. First time was actually in Diablo 2. I'm sure everybody's been scammed in Diablo 2. I fell for the good old, let's click around, like in the trade window, let's click around our item to make sure it's legit. And the guy swapped out the item with another item, and I clicked trade, and it was just a piece of garbage instead of the actual item. Oh, I learned my lesson then back when I was, 12 years old. Like, don't trust anybody.
Yeah. I remember they, on OpenBNet, they had those white and black items or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And someone gave me like a white item, and then I joined, I was like I was like, oh my god, what is this? And my character was so powerful and stuff. Like, And then I joined some lobby, and some guy was like, "Oh, dude, can I try out the? Can you just give it to me and so I can try it out?" And I was like so innocent. I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then he left, and I just started crying.
Yeah.
It was like so traumatic. And then he came back actually, and gave it back to me.
Wow, you got lucky.
Yeah, that was a very traumatic experience. So guys, don't be assholes on the internet, because you might just be bullying a like 10-year-old.
Yeah, think about it. Don't bully 10-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Well,
where he becomes toxic guy later in life.
Yeah. This is the result of the D2 bullying.
Yeah.
Well, we've got mirrored builds this time. Not necessarily mirrored, but pretty close. Because Soulkey did sneak in an additional drone. I think this was 12 hatch versus 11 hatch, but everything looks very similar.
Well, see how I was talking about it? Well, there's no way Hero goes for a 9 pull on the, in the 4th map, and I was right. He did go for the 12 hatch. It would have been sick if Soulkey went for that 9 pull. But actually, Hero went for an 11 hatch, which is meant to be slightly more conservative. And you're kind of praying, especially on a 4-player map. Well, maybe if your opponent goes 9 pull, either they scout you last or they're cross map. But Soulkey's going to have a small edge with his 12 hatch.
And every edge matters in CVC. Supplies are still pretty much dead even though 15 to 15. Ooh. Again, another interesting scout pattern, just as an FYI. Straight through the center, Hero went, and he is going to get to Soulkey's base, for, I guess, within like the next 30 seconds or so.
Hero also went for speed first here, whereas Soulkey went for the lair first, which he has been favoring in this series so far.
We'll see if he can do anything with this. Remember, he's poked in a couple times, and he got immediately punished on Dark Origin. And then, of course, Apocalypse. I think he had a good opener, but, he was just down Larva. I mean, you can't really do anything at that point. And once again, he's branching, or I guess Soulkey's the one that branched off Lings in the Radion game. This time it's going to be Hero acting like, hey, I only got 7 Lings.
Yeah, it's very, that's another part of 4-player maps like this, is the scouting information can be very slow. And actually, Hero's speed is going to finish, and he is going to catch 1 Ling. And that second Ling as well is kind of out in Africa, so it won't be able to contribute anything for now. And Soulkey has no speed. He has to defend this without speed. Oh, it finished, actually, it just finished.
But it seems like he's down. Okay, no, he's not down Lings anymore. With those popping out, he should be able to hold. And Spire timing to me basically identical. Oh, a Ling got in somehow. Oh!
And it kills 1 drone. That's massive. Absolutely massive. And the Hero's going to try and push in here. But Soulkey is holding the line. And, man, Hero's hurting. Not only did he lose 1 drone to that Ling, but also, again, like, Soulkey had the 12 hatch opening, Hero had that 11 hatch opening. It's starting to compound here, and Hero's gonna, and not just that, but Soulkey went for lair first instead of the speed, so his Spire is gonna be a bit quicker. So overall, despite the fact that they went similar builds here, Soulkey does have a small edge.
And this Ling tried to get another kill, does a decent amount of damage, but doesn't get the kill in the end. And behind this, it does look like Soulkey has a freaking ton of Zerglings. Now, is it more than Hero? I'm not so sure, but Soulkey, he's on the move now, and he's going to try and strike while Hero's weak. He's got a lot of Lings in. Okay, now he's coming down to the low ground.
Well, Soulkey's doing what he did on that Radion game, is he's not pulling Larva for his Mutalisks, he's just going on this Spire timing. And it puts a lot of pressure, because if Hero, it basically forces the other player to not pull Larva either. But it doesn't look like Hero's doing that, so Soulkey's going to go for it.
I think Soulkey has more Lings, which means he's going to... Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe he doesn't. What are those Lings at the top doing? He does, and he easily wins this fight. Those Lings need to help with the battle. Drones are going to be pulled off. It's actually just a pure on Ling flood.
Yeah, and this is so close. For a second, actually, Hero had equal supply, but now it's back in Soulkey's favor, and The NAT is completely exposed. A Hero has to pull more drones, but that's just 3 drones. And oh my god, Hero did go for Mutalisks actually. And so this is exactly what Soulkey was hoping for, to link flood before the Mutas are out. And he is going to kill the hatchery. So that was a huge success for him.
Yeah, and now what do you do as Hero? He's down Mutas already, and the Muta battle hasn't even started.
Soulkey, man, he's playing out of his mind, dude. He's super strong right now. I mean, this series, he's just... The first game was a fluke, man, but past that, he's just been playing so well, and Hero up against the ropes yet again. I mean, this game is pretty much done also. He doesn't have a hatchery at his NAT. I mean, they both have similar supply, and Soulkey's not mining his NAT gas just yet, so I would say this is a bit more playable than the other games for Hero, but being down a hatchery, that's never fun.
He's definitely going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat here. He's going to transfer, wow, 3 drones to the natural. So he only has, what, 5 drones mining minerals? I mean, that's not that much income for him in terms of minerals. So he's got to be careful about that. But he's going to have so much gas the longer the game progresses. So many mutas, so many Scourge. Hero did rebuild his hatch, and it's almost done by now.
Yeah, this to me is kind of indicating that Soulkey is going to go... Well, I mean, Soulkey has a very clear plan here, and it's to go for a muta timing here. Maybe he'll go 11 mutas, and then just rally Scourge. And with 5 drones on minerals and 6 on gas, you can just mass produce Scourge off your 2 hatch. And he's basically going to flex the extra larva he has here from killing Heroes natural. He's going to try and flex that into timing.
Here he comes. It's, I don't know how many mutas, 10? I think it's 10 versus 10, but there's 4 Scourge. An Overlord, oh, and another Overlord dies. That's really painful. Ling even sneaks in, man, right when the mutas are here.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be very hard for Hero to hold, and loses a drone as well on top of that. His supply block still. Soulkey, look at how much blue is running across the map. Those are all Scourge guaranteed. Okay, 1 muta as well, and the connections are great for Soulkey. Hero is trying to micro as much as he can, but Soulkey, look at the Scourge just running train into the Heroes, and I think that's going to be it. Look at the supplies dwindling for red, and GG gets called. Hero goes down 1-3.
Yep, Soulkey may be the first one to get the reverse sweep here. Hero, man, he looked so good in game 1, but everything falling apart. Maybe he should have let Soulkey just win game 1, man. Yeah. He should have learned from the previous series. Don't let this guy lose the first game. Just let him win. Make him feel good about himself.
Well, dude, that's crazy. Soulkey's on the precipice, man, of making history as the first player to win the finals after losing in the first game.
Yeah, I like that graphic that we just saw. He's silencing all the haters in the chat. Like, I'm gonna do it, boys. You watch me. And he's looking so good. Like a mirrored build, he just straight up wins. I don't think necessarily Hero even played poorly there. Like, he played well, and it just fell apart.
Yeah, and Soulkey is on match point here. So, I mean, you know, you're looking at this, and in my opinion, Hero, 100%, he's going either 9 pull or 12 hatch. Never is it going to be a 12 pull. So you know what that means.
What's it mean?
We got to whip out the 9 pull, man.
We got to whip out the 9 pull. Okay, what about the 4 pull?
That's terrible.
Well, if he had 4 pulled last game, he would have won. Well, I think he would have won at least.
Yeah, but I wonder if we've actually seen that. Didn't we see that? And you remember that honestly, that season 10 when Flash played random, there's a lot of ZVZs.
There was, and he was doing some wild stuff. Oh, we're just going into a break, okay? And we'll be back in just a few moments. And there is the trophy that both players are fighting for. And Soulkey, he is one game away from going back to back after starting down 0-1. Here he is on match point, up 3-1. Hopefully Hero can strike back. If he doesn't, he's going to be gone. I'm hoping he strikes back so we can get a Troy game. I really want to see a Troy game before this final closes out.
Yeah. And I really want to see my bed, so...
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, Hero's got his work cut out for him. Soulkey's on the cusp here. So this is where you want to keep your cool. He has a huge advantage coming into this game, obviously, score-wise and mentally. I'm telling you, man, there's no way Hero is going to 12 pool here. So I think if you go for a 9 pool is Soulkey. That's the correct play.
We'll see if the prediction is correct. It would be... Well, it would be... If he 9 pools here, it would be his first 9 pool of the series, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, another fan from South America, all the way from Argentina, man. He's traveling a long distance to come to the ASL. We've seen so many foreign fans this time. Lots of them from South America, a few from Europe also. You know, I got some messages directly about going to Korea and what they should, you know, check out while they're there. And
yeah, I even saw some Filipinos, man.
Oh yeah, I remember them at the beginning of the cast.
Yeah. Lots of people traveling to Korea. It's really, I mean, Seoul's really nice. It's a very nice city. Lots to do, lots to see. A lot of good food, even though you hate the corn.
Well, I just avoid the corn and eat the rest.
Yeah.
I go get the Buddha jjigae and stuff like that. The good soups that they got there.
I'm surprised you like the jjigae, man.
Well, it's different, right?
Are you a spicy?
No.
So how aren't they all spicy, dude?
Well, I mean, okay, I can deal with some spice, but not like the crazy spice. For those of you out there, there's a flavor called bulldog, and it literally translates as like fire flavor.
Yeah.
If you do not like spicy or can only tolerate a little bit of spicy, avoid that because it is pretty freaking hot. I made a mistake of ordering a pizza that was bulldog. I wanted to try it, and well, never ordering that again. That was way too much. So, in the top right, we do have our greens there. He's got to win here. It's Hero. Oh, accidentally hit pause. Okay, here we go. We're back.
Yeah, bottom left, we got Soulkey as the yellow Zerg. Make sure you're still, well, would you pause, man?
I accidentally hit space on the VLC player, which paused it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're good. The stream's not down.
Yeah, well, let's see what both players are going to do here. Again, Hero is up against the ropes. This is match point. This is championship point here for Soulkey. So if he wins here, I mean, he's a champion. He's a back-to-back two-time Jinx-breaking champion. Can he do it? Can Hero put a stop to him?
Hopefully he can. So we can get some more epic games. We still haven't gotten any game go past like the 8-minute mark here. And so neither player going 9 pool, by the way. At least I don't think. Oh, actually, Soul, you were right. There it is. The ZVZ God Gypsy here with the 9 pool call from Soulkey.
Yeah, and well, let's see if Hero goes. I'm more than convinced Hero's gonna 12 hatch here, but I guess at this point I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 12 pull. We still have to see. I mean, if he 12 pulls, he's going to be in a really good spot. It really comes down to this, guys. Let's see. What does he choose to do?
Oh, he did.
Oh, he did 12 pull. Damn.
Damn, he was on the Gypsy train. He's like, I know this guy's going to 9 pull. So I'm going to 12 pull this time. And now he's finally got a good build order. And we'll see if this can be transitioned into a victory. This time around, you know, it's a huge map, so neither player has intel on each other's builds. And I guess one thing that I am noticing this time, as compared to Retro that we saw last time, is look at this. No Overlord straight through the center, like we saw previously. So he's going to miss the Lings.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, So Soulkey did go for that anti-scout. At this point in time, Hero actually, he could have sent that first Overlord to bottom left already if he was suspecting Soulkey. Well, basically, you would see the second Overlord by now, so we'll see. But now I think both players will know exactly where they're spawning. Soulkey, though, unfortunately for him, he's not going to spot this Overlord before he needs, before sending the links to top left. So he's going to waste some time. And this is critical for the 12 pool player, because 12 pool player wants to have as much time as possible for the hatchery to actually spawn in and produce that first set of lings that will offset the advantage that the 9 pool player is going to have.
Wonder if Soulkey will wait and build up his lings before showing them, or what's the move here? Because on Apocalypse, when Hero 9 pooled, he just sat on the high ground for a long time. But this ling spots 2 lings in the center of the map. He knows that this was an early pool opener, and it's going to come down to this defense. Speed is kicked in already, I think, for both sides. No, actually, Hero doesn't have it.
Yeah, this is the timing here for Soulkey. He's got to make something happen with it, especially going for speed. I mean, if he went for lair, he wouldn't need to be so aggressive, but it's so hard here. Basically, the flow chart is to just hit this hatchery and maybe slip a couple links into the main, but you can see Hero constantly covering the ramp. That's the #1 priority, but actually Soulkey's going to go for it. Will he win this fight? I mean, it's going so well for him, but now extra links spawn for Hero, and all in all, it was more or less an even trade.
I thought that was actually in favor of Soulkey initially. It looked like he had the better angle, but with the reinforcing lings, ends up holding. Ling does sneak into Soulkey's base, but it's not able to get any damage done. And critically for Hero, he didn't lose any drones there, so even though he pulled 2, doesn't lose any, so his econ's still fantastic. His Spire timing is going to be about 30% behind Soulkey.
Yeah. Pretty much just what you would expect. Again, I think the 12 pool player, as long as they're mirroring what the 9 pool player is doing with their gas, they're going to be a really good spot. I think had Soulkey went for something like an early lair and Hero went for speed, then that Spire timing could really be impressive. But as played, Soulkey's only a marginally ahead, so, and I don't think that Soulkey's timing is gonna offset the cross map travel distance, so it's very possible Hero doesn't even need to make spores or anything.
I don't think he is. I wonder what Soulkey's gonna do. Is he gonna try and just ling flood on one base and try and catch this guy sleeping here? Hero is starting to build some drones, but I don't think that's gonna work. Here comes Soulkey, but it looks like a Hero advantage. Yeah, it's an overwhelming advantage, and there are no hidden lings on the map either. So okay, 3 lings. No, not gonna find any damage.
Yeah, I mean, Hero's holding this perfectly, and Hero with the counterattack. I mean, I don't think Soulkey placed the sunken from before, and this run by got caught as well. Soulkey has to build a sunk now, though, if he ever wants those mutas to get out onto the map. But 3 mutas are already finished. They are going to generate a lot of value. They're going to kill all these lings, but do any drones go down? Not so far. Okay, 1 drone does go down, 2 drones. 3rd drone would be massive. 2 drones is quite a big deal, though.
2 drones definitely worth his while. Also forced the drone pull, and he still has so many lings left over, and he's up a hatch. So this was a big win for Hero. You can see it reflected in the supply. Soulkey's got to get damage done now if he wants a chance in this game. He's got a lot of mutas already. It's at 5. He has the sunken to defend, but a lot of those drones are bruised. Like, if he can find those 2... Oh my god, he has no drones, man. He has 3 drones on the minerals, 3 on the gas, and that's it.
Yeah, Soulkey's actually going for the kill. He's trying to just all in with the Meadow Scourge here. And Hero did commit a lot of his larva into these links. He's going to come here and actually clean up all these drones. But it's all going to come down to these mutas. This is a fat timing. Soulkey is hitting, and, well, Hero's basically supply blocked. He can't make more than what he has. I think that's 5 mutas against 4. But more Scourge coming in for both sides, so it can go either way.
Soulkey's going to win this, I think. He's got way more mutas, and he's taken no damage to the Scourge. Hero's fighting for his life here. With the supply block, he's gotta, oh man, a lot of the Scourge connect there, and that was a game-swinging move. And now with just 2 mutas left over, okay, make that 1. That means that Hero is gonna take it, but there was an opportunity where Soulkey may have been able to win it.
Yeah, that was really close, but I think Hero just about ekes it through. I mean, he had the builder advantage, and he translated it to a victory pretty easily. There's not much Soulkey can do because he's mining with pretty much, what, like 5 drones? 6 drones? That's it.
Yeah, he has no drones, so he had to win there with that attack. Razor close, ends up, technically winning the battle with a muta left over, but he really needed to have something like 3 left over. Then he could have wiped the drone lines, maybe picked off Scourge as they popped out. But that means series is now going to be 3-2. We're going to actually get into game 6. Hero not eliminated just yet, and we've got Troy coming up.
Yeah, Troy's going to be... It's going to be a map, man.
Yeah, I think this will be the first time I've seen CVZ on here. Well, if you're playing Troy,
that sign seems like it's cheering for both players.
I didn't read it, so I'm not sure exactly what it said. That guy, that's definitely not cheering for both players. He wants Hero to win there.
Yeah.
Well News shout out right there, the sponsor of this ASL.
Now, are we going to go into another game here, or are we going to take a break?
I have a feeling we're going to go straight into another game.
I have a feeling we'll take a break, man.
Oh,
these producers, they're like, these ZVZs are short AF. Let's just flood all these. Did they even play 2 games back to back? Yeah,
they
game
did.
2 and 3, right?
Yeah, 2 and 3 was back to back, and I think this is going to be a back to back, and then game 7 we'll get our break. Now, Troy, it's a 4-player map, but we were talking about rush distances, like in the game between Rush and who was that? Was it actually Hero? Where he just stem rushed off of 20 Marines or 20 SCVs, right? And it was just close. Like, is this a map that you can 12 hatch on? If you're expanding,
absolutely
towards
not.
Yeah, you can't, right? So it's got to be early pool from both sides.
Because I think even 9 pool versus 12 pool, like the 12 pool can't even hatch at the nat like you normally would. Because actually no, you could. I just think it's a bit more skewed towards 9 pool, but possibly not actually. So I think in perfect play, like you hold the same way you do on all the other maps, but yeah, it can snowball a bit more if you 9 pool for sure.
All right, well, players are ready. We're getting into the 6th game again. Soulkey still on match point, but Hero could be staging his comeback. And in the bottom left, there he is in the green.
Yeah. In the yellow, it's Soulkey.
We got cross spawns.
Yeah.
Hit me with the 12 hatch, even though you're expanding towards the center. I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, 12 hatching would be so crazy on this map, but I feel like it's so crazy it might work. It might just work.
Yeah.
The last game we saw Hero go for the 12 pull, so now, like, Hero, that was a massive win. Well, of course, it was a massive win because he's still in the series, but I think from a mind game perspective, it's completely reset now. I have no idea what either player is going to go. I think they don't really know what either of them are going to go. Again, on Troy, the double gas makes it very tricky.
It's pool first from Hero again, another 9 pool. And Soulkey, we'll see if he 12 pools again. He's had good success with the 12 pool. I actually think that's going to be the play here. If the guy goes 9 pool, you're going to be okay. If the guy goes 12 hatch, you're going to be okay. It ends up being an overpool. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, overpool is definitely more economical than 9 pool, so this is slightly ahead, but not as ahead as you would expect a 12 pool to be. So I would say, pretty even. I think small edge there for Soulkey, but nothing crazy.
definitely playable for Hero here. And with the tiny gap, you know, the entrance into the main is so tiny. Will anybody massively drone up is the question to me. Will somebody skip speed? Because, like, you're not running Lings in, right? Because the person's never going to be out of position, I imagine.
I don't know. I mean, Soulkey's going to be up one drone here from his build. And one drone can mean a lot. And he's actually going lair first. Whereas Hero's going for a speed.
What?
And, well, yeah, 9 pull speed is what you would expect. But I think the overpull lair is pretty much... I mean, it's a massive advantage here for Soulkey. Now, the only thing is, Hero can kill these geysers.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about the geysers. Every time we get into Troy, I just, for whatever, forget about them. So the speed advantage is going to be massive here. Oh, well, what's this?
So risky from Soulkey also, because he's going lair first, so now he has to go back home. I mean, he's got to respect the fact that Hero might have went speed first. But he knows it's overpull versus 9 pull. He's not going to get overwhelmed by... Okay, he's killing his own guys?
Yeah. You know, before the game's... No way. Is he sending a... He's hiding a drone?
Absolutely he is.
It's not been spotted.
He's going to expand at 12 o'clock, I guess. And, well, this is going to be tricky because... I mean, he would like to kill the geysers at 12 o'clock as well, but he's just chilling out in the middle of the map with no speed. Like, I was... Well, what is he doing?
He's locking himself in, but...
Well, it's not fast enough.
Yeah, can't Lings get in? Yeah, they get in, and there's like 5 Lings on the center of the map. Soulkey, what are you doing? He's gonna panic build a Sunken, but look at that Spire. It's completely open.
What was that, dude? That was actually the biggest blunder I've seen all tournament, I think.
It's dead!
Yeah, oh my god.
A cancel is massive. Of course, you want the kill, but also the Lings pop out on the wrong side of the hatchery. They get picked off as they pop.
Oh my god, the jinx is coming true, man.
It is. Oh my gosh, I guess the saving grace is at least this hatchery at top middle hasn't been spotted. But Soulkey, if he builds a hatch, he can't build a Spire. If he builds a Spire, he can't build the hatch. He can't counter now. He's lost so many Lings.
It's so unfortunate because Soulkey had a massive advantage. Like, again, just... Well, I don't know if it's a massive advantage because the problem for Soulkey is if he doesn't have speed, right, if he has lair there, then Hero 100% can contain him and just kill his geysers. And if Soulkey does not have a drone out on the map before that happens, there's no way Soulkey's ever getting access to a second geyser, right? Like a second base. In which case, even though I think Soulkey would have had a slight advantage, right? Because he has the Spire so much faster. I think the longer the game goes, like, Hero would have been supremely advantaged. So I think Soulkey felt very, even though he identified correctly, he probably knew he was against 9 full speed. He felt the need to go out onto the map to get the drone out. And then you also feel a need to both seal up your gas and then seal up the gas of the base that you're trying to ninja, right?
Really tough situation for Soulkey to cover all those bases like you were talking about. And now he's just had a massive deficit. Hero's hatchery is almost done by the time Soulkey starts. Soulkey, during all that, a lot of the time he wasn't even mining gas, so there should be gas advantage for Hero. And already there are 3 mutas out on the map. Lings are going to be able to hold this, and meanwhile, Hero's looking for those overlords, and he's going to find one bottom right. Oh no, he's not. He misses it.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't even need to kill that. He's so far ahead after the canceling the Spire like that. He has access to his Nat, whereas Soulkey, you know, he's got a ninja this base. That's not going to be safe because he didn't kill the geysers either, and now he's supply blocked as well. I mean, this game is very, very difficult for Soulkey.
Really, really tough situation, and Ling gets picked off in the main. Hero... Okay, for some reason I thought that was a Ling at top middle, but he doesn't know about top middle just yet. But either way, Hero's base is up. Got the extractor coming down right now to get additional gas. Soulkey finally comes out of supply block.
Well, Hero's probably gonna chill for a bit. I mean,
He found
Soulkey
it.
does have Minos out.
He found the top middle base. And that means Lings are on the move immediately. And now what do you do as Soulkey? You've got to defend top middle with no Lings. So you got to defend with Mutas. That leaves your main open. If Lings go to your main, well, they can start picking off drones, which means your Nat is open to Mutas. I mean, this is just basically impossible. And now we're going to have a Muta engagement, I think. And it's, I think, 6 versus 3? 6 versus 4?
It's something incredible for Hero. So, and now Hero also, he's basically pressuring Soulkey, so Soulkey has to respond with his Mutalisks, which gives Hero the positional advantage.
Well, at least he did not get supply block there. If he gets supply block this game, okay, that's it. He's going to have to fight with this. He has nothing else being produced except out of those eggs. Oh, Scourge connect, and that's not what Soulkey wanted.
Oh my god, and the Overlord is so close for Soulkey, so the closer the Overlord is, the less the Mutas stack, so he's gonna have to, swap that out as well, which is annoying in the middle of microing all of this, and he wants to hold that Patry, but he can't, and now Hero's gonna pounce right on top of Soulkey's Mutalisk. He's gonna eradicate them and take this to the rubber match, game number 7.
There it is, GG. And I thought for sure we were going to have the 4-1 reverse sweep from Soulkey, yet here we are. It is going to go the distance, game 7, and our last remaining map is Blitz.
Yeah, 2-player map, man. I can't believe we're going to the rubber match here. Soulkey was on championship point 2 games in a row here, and he could not convert it. Man, he might be going down, and if he does go down, then again, the player who won the first game will have won the finals.
Yeah. Indeed, the trend will continue. Heroes definitely feeling the momentum now. It is Blitz, 2-player map, like you said, kind of a weird map. We've seen some weird games, not just in ZVZ, but throughout the entire tournament. I think to start us off, we had the Proxy Factory from TY. We had the split map game of Snow versus Soulkey a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And, well, I'm guessing we're going to go to a break here.
Yeah. And that sign, by the way, it said he cannot lose. Hero's a monster, and he's bringing it back 3-3. Oh my gosh, man! Like these games, they're so fast. They're like so razor thin. Somebody gets like a slight advantage, and the game's just over. Like I thought, when Soulkey was setting up to build that base at top mid, I was like, finally, we're gonna get a 10-minute game, but it still just ended in sub 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he just it's always so crazy to me when I see well, we're gonna go into a break first, guys, so let's just get right into it, and then we'll see you back here in a couple minutes.
Well, this is it, guys. This is game 7 of our finals of ASL 17. We've gone the distance here. Tied score 3-3, and we're risking it all on Blitz here. Will Soulkey do it? Will he go back to back, or will Hero continue the trend of the game 1 winner winning the whole thing?
Yeah, man, this is so crazy that we're actually here. Really looked like Soulkey was going to just take the series. I mean, he was up 3-1. Now we're suddenly 3-3. Anyone's game, anyone's match, anyone's championship, anyone's trophy. And Hero did manage to pull it back despite being up against, the ropes. And let's see, man, because it's anybody's game now.
I wanted to ask you this. Do you think now's finally the time
No.
to pull out the Hydra play?
Never, man.
No, we're not going to see Hydras here, you don't think? What about, what's that American guy who did 3 hatchlings all the time? Faust? Was that Faust?
Maybe.
Remember that guy just 3 hatchlinged all the time? Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think it's time to go 9 hatch, 9 pool, massling?
Absolutely not.
No.
Not these two players. They're too honorable for that.
Okay.
Well, you know what's as we get ready here, guys, it is going to be on Blitz, the last game of ASL Season 17. It's all led up to this. All of our casts, all of our waking up at 4 a.m., then 5 a.m., then 3 a.m. All of the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears poured in to this cast by yours truly and Nyoken.
Yeah.
It's all led up to this. The culmination here, Blitz Y as the fireworks pop off. Hero versus Soulkey, the last game. A Zerg champion, but who will it be? Will it be Hero finally after so many tries? After so many top 4 finishes? Is this going to be his first time hoisting the trophy as he deserves it, as the most consistent player in the ASL history? Or is it going to be Soulkey?
Could be,
back
man.
to back.
Well, if he wins back to back, it begs the question, can he go back to back to back? And then he would be, I think, just up there with Flash as the only people that have done that. I don't think there's anybody else.
He might be just better than Flash.
Okay. No. We've already been through this where you're telling me Light's better than Flash. I will not accept that Soulkey's better than Flash. I will say Soulkey's freaking good, but come on now. Now look at this. The game 7 set prediction. Look at this. Nobody actually thought it was going to get to game 7. There's only 3 predictions in total. 2 for Soulkey, 1 for Hero.
Yeah, and let's see. Well, you know what's kind of paradoxical about 2-player maps is they're the most honest, but they can also be the most deceiving because you know where your opponent spawns, you know where their scouting is coming from, so you can often hide stuff. We've seen on 2-player maps, like you mentioned a couple seasons ago on Invader, on Dark Origin, and it looks like it's going to be a 12 pull here from Hero, and actually it's going to be a 12 hatch from Soulkey on a 2-player map. This guy's crazy.
Yep, advantage in Soulkey's favor here.
I mean, this is a huge advantage, Nyoken.
Yeah, this is a big advantage.
9 pull versus 12 pull, I mean, of course the 12 pull is favored, but I actually really think 12 pull against 12 hatch is it's really bad for the 12 pull player.
Also, this map, even though it looks like a normal size, you got to go horizontal and then you got to go directly north. It's not exactly the closest spawns either. I mean, it's quite a considerable distance. Also, the hatchery is really close to the wall. So this 12 pool is not going to be able to do any damage. Of course, Heroes, he's going to have a hatchery himself. He'll have big econ, big larva production, but definitely Soulkey slightly ahead here, or massively ahead here if you're Guy.
No, this is a huge advantage. Nyoken, this is I think the biggest advantage is obviously 9 pool completely wrecks 12 hatch, right? And then you have 12 hatch that is really good against 12 pull. And then you have not like 12 pull against 9 pull is the least advantaged. Like the least in terms of like, you know, when we're comparing these. So this is not a good spot here for Hero, honestly. Looks like Soulkey went for the lair first. Did Hero also research lair? I wasn't paying attention.
I think he got lair because in Hero's main, he actually snuck in 2 drones. And something to consider in both games when people didn't have vision of the lings and the larva, they had been hiding lings off to the side. But this time around, what Soulkey is actually seeing is all Hero. Wow, he builds more drones. He's built 4 additional drones, I think, at this point. And Soulkey hasn't built any additional drones. If he goes right now, he has an overwhelming ling lead. Okay, it looks like for the first time in the series, it actually was speed first for Hero.
Yeah, it was speed first, and that's going to keep Soulkey back for a while, and it looks like Hero's going to, well, he is going to gamble. I mean, he's going to commit to this drone play, and he's going to build a bunch of creep colonies, and it's all about managing your economy perfectly here. That's a lot of drones to make, and the Sunks, they're not that strong at fighting lings necessarily. Soulkey also droning, though.
Lincoln's definitely not very good.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is a crazy build from Hero. He's going maniac.
They're both just droning up, man.
Good. Finally, we're gonna get a game that doesn't end in 10 minutes unless somebody has a catastrophic muta loss. This should finally get into a game that I was looking forward to. I think already. Okay, I thought that was a building right there, but it's 4 more lings. Now this is something like 14, 16 lings versus just 8 and a sunken. So maybe Soulkey can make something happen here.
Well, Soulkey made just enough drones to mine his gas, and likewise so did Hero, except Hero has an extra drone. We'll see. Soulkey should still have... he has a really big advantage in terms of the Spire timing, and he's going to go for a Ling Flood. He's been doing this every single game. He is going to pressure Hero on the Spire timing, making sure Hero's not pulling larva prematurely.
Right, it all comes down to this. If it's mutas, Hero's in trouble, but this time around he's actually built lings. He's also got a evolution chamber trying to block the way. He cancels it because Soulkey, I thought he was gonna actually go in there, but ends up backing off after seeing how many lings were produced.
Yeah. And, Soulkey's going to take this fight on the ramp. That's a really good concave as well for Soulkey. Hero, a lot of his lings are not joining in the fight as soon as they would like to. And, that was a big donation there from Hero because I think he actually had more lings than Soulkey did. And Soulkey, his mutas are out. They're going to kill this Overlord. That's going to buy him a lot of time.
It will buy him a lot of time. And unlike Hero, Soulkey does not have a sunken at his natural. So he does have to keep lings back, because ling run by could do devastating amounts of damage, and that's why you see these lings over on the left side. Well, he moves in and loses one of them immediately.
Oh my god, he has so many mutas already. Both players have a lot of mutas, obviously super economic builds, but Soulkey's got 2 extra mutas. He also killed the Overlord, whereas Hero hasn't been able to kill an Overlord now, and he's lost the timing because, if he moves out now, Soulkey can always threaten a counterattack. Hero needs to find where these mutas are. That means he needs to send a couple lings out onto the map to spot, but that's a lot to ask for given the fact that they're both on equal production, equal supply.
Oh no, another Overlord gets found, and it's going to get 3-shotted. And that's a second Overlord that's died. He's going to lose another one because lings run into the main.
Well, Soulkey didn't actually pull the trigger on that one, so Hero, he's very lucky to get away with that because I think that third Overlord would have just sealed the deal right there. But, even with the one Overlord, Hero's massively behind. He's going to have a huge... he's going to have the best muta micro of his life here if he wants to win this championship.
Another Overlord dies, so there is the third one. Supply block comes in, 42 out of 42. 50 supply for Soulkey. He's got so many more Scourge. I don't even see a single Scourge from Hero. He's playing it like Protoss versus Zerg, where you're just building so many Scourge to overwhelm the Corsairs. But this time they're going to overwhelm the mutas, and I think he also has muta advantage. So this could be it. This could be the final fight.
Yeah, he has so many mutas as well, and I mean, it comes down to this. It's all down to the micro. Soulkey has a huge advantage supply-wise, and he's going to push through here with a lot of Scourge still remaining, and Hero, I don't think he's doing it. Soulkey, he's feeling it. He knows that he's on the cusp of victory, on the cusp of his second championship. Nyoken is standing and delivering, completely wipes Hero, and Hero falls short yet again.
And this is brutal for Hero. He's not going to give up just yet, because this is obviously the last game of the tournament. But you can see in his face, he knows it's over. There's way too many mutas. You know, maybe if it's 2, you can come back. But when it's 7, there's no chance. And there's the GG back-to-back. Soulkey does it. Oh my gosh, this guy, he just refuses to die. Coming back in the semifinals, and now coming back also in the finals.
Yeah, coming back in the middle of it. Well, he was ahead, you know, but he came back from losing 2 games there at 1-3, and Soulkey, man, just a sick player, well deserved. He played out of his mind. This, I think he had an incredibly difficult road to the finals here, and he played out of his mind in a matchup that, you know, traditionally or historically has kind of plagued him in his results, especially in the ASL. People were talking for the longest time about how Soulkey isn't winning a lot more than he should be because of ZVZ, but look at him. He gets to the final here and wins in a best of 7 against, you know, probably number 2 Zerg right now.
I think also someone mentioned in the chat that Soulkey had taken down Hero 3-2 in like ASL season 14. Yeah. So the series between those two have been really close overall. And like you said, a lot of people say like this guy would have won more if it wasn't for his ZVC. But I don't know what the hell they're talking about, man. Because every time I watch Soulkey play and I watch him play ZVC, there's nothing that stands out to me that says like, well, this guy's weak ZVC. He just always looks really good. So it's no surprise for me to see him win once again here.
Yeah, and in kind of a dominant fashion. I mean, he won the best of 5, right? 3-1, and then he won the best of 7, 4-3. So, you know, maybe if it was the other way around, you know, for example, if Hero won, could have argued, well, if it was a best of 5, Soulkey would have won. But no, Soulkey won both series, let's say. So very dominant performance from him. And again, just dominant kind of ASL, dominant tournament for him, and back-to-back champion as a Zerg player. Super impressive. And really, we've seen 2 Zerg players do this at this point now. Soulkey just now and 0 before him. So Zerg, honestly, has done really well in the ASL.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the rundown of Soulkey's run through the tournament. In the round of 16, who did he face off versus? He faced off versus Mong and Bisu, took them down in pretty easy fashion. Then he took down the 2 Protoss hopefuls in Mini, where he was down 2-0 in that series. I totally forgot about that and came back and won. Then he took down Snow 4-2. And now take down Hero 4-3. I guess this time he avoided the Terrans, which was good for him because, you know, JYJ took him down, what was it, 2 seasons ago? But either way, he had a really strong run through the tournament.
Yeah, man. And, well, we'll see if he's going to be able to do it again next season. But, wow, what an impressive tournament by Soulkey. And you know, especially leading up to the finals against Mini, like you mentioned, he was 0-2, and then he was also 0-2 against Snow, and he came back.
It's crazy. Well, now,
and he was down 0-1 against Hero.
I know, man. He's just something triggers in his blood when he's down. He's just brings the heat, and he ends up turning the series in his favor. What I was gonna say was, you know, I think a lot of Zerg players really did like Soma, but now that Soma's in the military, is Soulkey the guy the whole the Zerg torch? Like, is he the one to beat? You know, Hero consistently makes top 4, but he doesn't win. Queen didn't even make ASL this season, which is crazy. Like, is Soulkey the guy?
Well, I mean, I think Hero played out of his. Hero also had an incredible tournament, and honestly, like, uh, to come second in such a nail biter ZVZ series, where for the most part, like, it all came down to the build orders because whoever had the build order advantage won the game. The only game that was kind of even, let's say, was that game on Troy, where it's not so clear that the overpool player has a big advantage, really. And that was the only even game, and Hero completely obliterated Soulkey. All the other games were like 12 pool. I guess there was also one game where they both 12 hatched and Hero also won that. But all the other games were just like 12 pool, 12 hatch, 9 pool like matchups. And I think Soulkey got, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Soulkey got the better of him in all the builder selections. So, if I'm Hero, I'm definitely not. It's kind of depressing in a sense, but he shouldn't feel bad at all about his tournament run. I think he played incredibly well this tournament.
Of course, getting second place is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's literally, you're playing against the best players on the planet. So congrats to him on second place. Another thing that I did want to mention, since you were talking about the build orders, is something that I noticed is that the Overlords, the person that lost Overlords, they were just dead. Like, in the final couple games, we saw multiple supply blocks coming in, especially the last one. What was it, 3 Overlords that Hero lost? Maybe you can lose 1, but to lose 3, I mean, you're just perma supply blocked at that point. You can't build anything. An Overlord is equal to a Muta. Like, that's how crazy losing 1 Overlord is.
Yeah, and generally the player that loses the Overlord first is also the player that's behind build order wise, and that's exactly what happened in that game where Soulkey went for that 12 hatch against the 12 pool. So yeah, very. I mean, again, that was a really sick final, actually.
It was indeed. I did have hopes that we would get one Hive Tech game. Never happened, but at least the games were good. At least the Muta battles, even though they were quick, they were close, right? There were chances for players to win. But in the end, it was Soulkey being a little bit too strong this time, so he's going to go back to back. I think this is the president of Afrika speaking here, so he's, of course, congratulating the players, and we'll get into the ceremony with them in just a moment.
Yeah, president of Soup.
Yeah, Soup. I did notice that on his shirt, that it does in fact say Soup. It does not say Afrika anymore.
It's going to be called the SSL soon, which is the Sonic Star League, one of the original StarCraft tournaments before the precursor to the ASL in the streaming era. So it's funny if we do go back to that acronym. But yeah, man, this was a really insane season. I think this was one of the better seasons that we've had in recent history. And again, Hero with the runner-up here. Honestly, Hero, he played out of his mind, and in my opinion, I think once again got very unlucky with the build order selection. So it's very easy to be disappointed here as Hero, but in all honesty, he deserves high praise because he easily could have been champion today.
Yeah, now he's finally broken out of the round of 4 curse. Maybe this is a precursor to him making the finals every single season, right? So he should be feeling good about his performance today and overall result. And well, Guy, we're almost done with the wrap up here.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you.
Bed.
Yeah, you're going straight to bed, of course. But I wanted to ask you, how was ASL for you this season as a caster?
I really enjoyed it, man. I think it was a lot of fun, and I've kind of was hoping we would do this at some point. But I will say that The hours are insane, man. I'm never doing this ever again.
No, you're done. This is it.
There's no way I'm waking up at that time ever again.
It is really early in the morning, and
I don't know how you do it, dude, and you go to work right after.
yeah, we pray for short series so I can
Yeah.
sleep before.
We got lucky. I mean, it's the broadcast days weren't. I think we had one group that was long, and that was it.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. There was like a 3.5 hour long group, but in general, they were pretty short. Actually, as far as for me, it doesn't really bother me to get up this early and then go to work because actually my job is pretty chill. I don't have to actually be there until 11. So I have quite a long buffer window, but in the fall it's going to be even tougher because we're going to, go ahead 1 hour because of daylight
Yeah,
savings time, and that means you're going to have to wake up 1 hour earlier, pretty much.
yeah.
It makes it really hard.
Well, we'll see, but I think this was a really good season to cast on. The map's really good. The players really good. All the matchups were really good, and you can't really ask for a better season, honestly. I think. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah. Soulkey, just the god, man, to go for that back to back. Honestly, very impressive by him, and we had real contenders this time around. Like if it wasn't Soulkey, we would have had a new champion, which I think is the biggest shame. But at the same time, we've had so many new champions recently. We're thinking about JYJ, thinking about Royal. Before that, Mini, I think.
Hmm.
Uh, and so for Soulkey to come and kind of cement himself as this two-time champion, I think is really cool as well.
It definitely is. I was happy with how like the draws were. Like in the round of 8, we had a Terran versus Protoss between Best and Sharp, and then Sharp really
Yeah,
delivered in that series. Then we
yeah,
had Hero versus Rush, which it's ZVT with Rush, and Rush is a madman in Terran versus Zerg. That series delivered. Then we had Snow versus Bisu, even though it was a 3-0, absolutely ridiculous micro, right? The Reavers were absurd. And then Soulkey versus Mini. I mean, that's pretty freaking hype. And then that got us Sharp versus Hero in the semifinals. Sharp won game 1. I was like, dude, is this it? Is this the new Rush? Is it him? Is it Sharp? He looked so well in game 1, but Hero took it 4-1. And then of course Snow versus Soulkey really delivered. I thought Snow was just gonna, win everything because of how well he was playing. So I agree with you. This season really did deliver. The top 8 players, every single one was god tier, had a chance to win. But in the end, as you can see, the champion is Soulkey. And that is it for us, guys. This is going to be the end of ASL Season 17. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next season, assuming there is another one. And we'll see if we can get another commentator if Guy actually taps out. Maybe you'll give in. Maybe we'll get Rhett in here,
yeah.
potentially.
Triple cast, man,
Yeah,
dude.
triple
Rat
cut.
was great. A lot of people really loved him. But yeah, thanks for having me, Nyoken. Much love, and take care, everyone.
Yep, the purple era has begun, guys, and we'll see you next season. Take care.